Hello everybody and welcome to the Q&A. I was gonna plan on doing this a little sooner, but school was like, free time? Nah! And I didn't really get to do it. But it's the weekend, so I will do, I would say, a long-awaited Q&A. I got 10 questions that were on the YouTube comment section. I have a few other questions that weren't asked but are commonly asked on streams and videos, so I'll answer those as well. So yeah, let's get started. The first two questions come from Mario123, and they are, why are you awesome, and how did you get your name? Why am I awesome? I don't know. I didn't consider myself awesome, but if you were to consider me that, then, you know, that's all in the eye of the beholder, so that's something you gotta ask. Why do you think I'm awesome? The second question is, how did you get your name? This is, I feel like, commonly asked from a lot of new people, since it's a very random name, the Forgotten Shiny Hunter. And that's because on my old channel, I used to do shiny hunting. Towards the very end of my channel, I had my channel since I was in middle school, started it all the way up until about freshman year. I stopped uploading, but that time with freshman year, when I was uploading, I was only doing shiny hunting or playing Pokemon. So yeah, I considered myself a shiny hunter because it was about 6 months of only that. You know, I had already considered myself a Poketuber since I stopped playing any other game on the channel. And, you know, after the kids from my school were picking on me a lot for having the channel, I decided that it wasn't worth it. It wasn't fun to be picked on when I do something when I go to school every day, opposed to, you know, having one or two friends. So I deleted it. I didn't tell any of my, you know, friends that I had made through YouTube that I was deleting it. I just disappeared, and I haven't heard anything since. But I gave myself that name because one night I was like, if I ever want to do streaming again, because it had been about a year and I missed it, I decided that I would create myself a channel and a name in case I did. And I was thinking, what should I name myself? And I thought, what better than the Forgotten Shiny Hunter? Because I had been a shiny hunter, but everyone forgot about, because it had been over a year since I streamed. So, you know, my channel, all the videos were gone, the channel art gone, it was just black. The description was nothing. The about channel, nothing. It was just nothing. So I considered myself the Forgotten Shiny Hunter. I know that was a really long answer to your question. I could have just said, you know, because I stopped streaming on my old channel. But yeah, I figured that it was good because a lot of questions are like, you know, how did you start, you know, and other questions. But yeah, the next question comes from Lord Hunter Plays. Are you ready for a Soul Link? Yes and no. Like, I am fully on board. I'm ready to do it with you. I'm not ready for the, Hunter, why? Why would you do that? And what do you mean you don't know that? I'm not ready for that part. But, you know, you can't be fully prepared for a journey. You know, you can prepare yourself for what you think, and you can make logical guesses, but you'll never fully know. And that's what makes it so fun. Because if you know everything that happens, it's not the same. Next question. I don't know how to pronounce your name, so I'm sorry if I say it wrong. Izuko717. What's your favorite game? Now, I have this issues a lot with picking, like, favorite movie or favorite individual, because a lot of times I don't pick favorites, and I'm like, wow, this is my favorite game, this is my favorite movie, or this is my favorite song. I don't really pick them, I just enjoy a lot of things. I can say probably my top 3 favorite games, and I would say definitely, if I had to pick a favorite game, I can only pick one, it would probably be Pokemon Platinum. It's the first game I completed. First game I really played, because I had played obviously other games, but first game that I enjoyed a lot, that I'd kept going back to even after other games came out. I kept going to Platinum. I really did enjoy Mario Strikers. I mean, that's why I did a series on it. And yeah, I really loved Skyward Sword and Breath of the Wild. I would say that would probably be, you know, those two fighting for that last spot. I really enjoy the Legend of Zelda series, and I hate that I waited so long to get into it, because it's the exact type of series I would like. But yeah. Next question is from SouthStar44. Who's your favorite Super Mario character, including Mario spin-offs? You see, that is my toughest choice, and this is a choice that I can't always pick between. I don't know what it is, but my favorite two characters have almost always been Waluigi and Luigi. I don't know what it is. Maybe the name Luigi has some, like, secret meaning to I don't even know. But yeah. When I was younger, I always loved Luigi. He was my favorite, and that's before I knew really about Waluigi, because when I first played a Mario game, there was no, Waluigi. It wasn't a spin-off game. But yeah, I'd say either Waluigi or Luigi. Those have always been my favorites, and, you can tell by how much I want Waluigi in Smash. I mean, I've wanted him since Brawl, so, yeah, Brawl came out very long ago, so you can tell I was a little kid when I started liking Waluigi. Next question comes from Mallow Gaming. What inspired you to do YouTube? Well, I can tell you, I know I'm not giving the short answers to simple questions, but there's two different things that inspired me to do YouTube. There's the one that I did on my old channel that inspired me to actually create my first YouTube channel, and I guess technically lead into this. And when I first saw YouTube, it just looked like some people having fun on the internet, some people making friends, and I thought, oh, if I do YouTube, then I can hang out with these YouTubers. Obviously, I didn't, because they were like, back in the day, 100,000 subscribers, you were a celebrity, only like PewDiePie had so many. So yeah, I thought, I could be popular and people would like me. I didn't have so many friends, so I thought this was a really cool way. And yeah, that's what inspired me when I was younger. What inspired me more recently is that I've always been a shiny hunter, ever since mostly X and Y came out, like 6 years ago. I've almost non-stop shiny hunting, The longest break I could think about was probably like 5 months. That's not even that long. So yeah, I'd always go to other streamers like M&J TV and Jubilee and A Drive and pretty much anyone that was live. But I tended to notice that I felt like no one cared what I said. I had gone to maybe 5 Jubilee and M&J streams in a row, and they didn't read a single comment of mine. And that kind of felt like everything I was saying was meaningless, There was no point of saying anything if no one was going to listen. So I went to smaller streamers, and they seemed to have tons of fun. But the issue was, because they were smaller, they weren't always live. They weren't always around when I was. So I met a lot of new people, a lot of channels, but, no one was really around. So I decided then that I was going to make a channel. That way I could be live whenever I wanted and people would come in, because I knew that I wasn't the only one. Tons of people went to smaller channels because they want to talk to someone. And that's what inspired me. I was like, there's going to be other people out there. I want to do this, and I want to enjoy the moments. Another smaller reason is I always want to relive that moment I find shiny. Hence why I'm always uploading shiny reactions. That way I can just rewatch it. Sometimes it's funny how stupid my reaction is, or that satisfaction of a long hunt coming to an end, or the shock of finding a fast shiny. But yeah, those are the reasons really. It's tons of small factors and a few big factors. Next question comes from Goodnight Gaming. Do you plan on doing a modded Minecraft? That's a really tough choice. I've almost always stuck to normal Minecraft. I have played the big mods in the past, and I've watched people play the big mods, and they look very confusing. I mean, I'm sure that's the exact same way people look at Minecraft if they haven't played it in a while, so, I would definitely be on board. If something happens with the hardcore world, I die, or I just simply don't think there's anything left for me to do, since without friends, I don't know where to go too much, I never really played in survival to get to the point where I'm at, where I'm just building things in survival. I almost always built things in creative, so it's a weird stepping stone for me. So I would say I would think maybe if the hardcore something happens, I could definitely see myself doing modded. So yeah. The next question is added by Adam James, -6 or 87. Triangle. Next question comes from Craft Kage. Do you sleep on the couch? Now, I can't tell if this is a joke or the fact that I have mentioned a couch before. I'll get into that later, but no, I did not sleep on the couch. I used to when I was little in the summer because I'd just be fun, I guess. I thought that was some cool thing. But yeah, I'm too tall to sleep on the couch. And Q&A. Oh my god. Yeah. Next question from Noah Ramirez, I believe. Now, I saw this question earlier on, and this really made me think. And I have the exact answer for this question. So it's going to be, I'm going to try to summarize it as simply as I can, but it would be long. If you can make your own type of Nuzlocke, what rules/gimmicks would it have? Now, I think it's pretty obvious if you've watched my channel. I'm a big fan of tournaments and elimination type things. I always found those so cool to see how, I don't know really why, I just think it's cool, you know? The amount of, like, drama that happens, it's not just, oh, win and not win. It's you play different in tournaments because you have something to lose, you know? Anytime you're playing a thing that's more than just practice, that's when you start to lose things. And I'm always interested to see where people will go and who will win and who will advance. But if I could do a Nuzlocke on my own, I would do a tournament Nuzlocke. It's kind of confusing, but I try to summarize it simply as 16 people would go in to a Nuzlocke as normal, and every few gyms, they would fight for a chance in the Nuzlocke. So, by the third gym, the first round would occur. There's no loser's bracket here. But yeah, it would go like this. The first 3 gyms, before the first 3 gyms, you're seeded into a bracket. So you, no. Before the first, you have the first 3 gyms to catch the most variation of Pokemon. It would be normal Nuzlocke rules. If Pokemon dies, it dies, obviously. Can't reuse it. But you also have the ability to use other Pokemon. And once you beat the 3rd gym, if someone fails, then oof, that would suck. I would assume that people wouldn't fail Nuzlockes there. I feel like they would fail towards the champion. But yeah. People would be randomly seeded, that way they don't have any, like, pre-advantage, because if they know they're going to verse someone, they might try to, like, change, like, if they know the person has a fire type, they might try to fish on one route. That way it's completely random. If a person fails, obviously that person that would verse them gets a free win. But yeah, after that, you either pick your best party of 6, or what you think your most advantageous party of 6 would be, because you're going to verse them. Any Pokemon that dies in that battle cannot be reused. So you don't always want to use your best Pokemon, because if you do, and you use your best 6, and 5 of them die, now you gotta struggle through the next few sections. But you also don't want to pick your worst, because then you're not gonna win. Obviously no EV training, IV training, special items. I mean, items are allowed, but, you know, nothing that would be so broken, you know. Then it would be the 6th gym, same thing. Then there's a big break, and then it's before the Elite Four. That way you have time to get a legendary and rebuild, because if you keep fighting so much, you're going to lose it, and you're not going to have any Pokemon. So yeah. After the Elite Four, there would only be 2 people left. And yeah. You would go into the champion. Now, there would be a 3rd place match for the 2 people that lost. They would have to use the remaining Pokemon, and they become a runner-up, I guess you could say. So if one of the 2 people doesn't beat the actual, you know, champion, then they have a chance to take that spot, since they were the best of the thing. But if both people manage to beat the champion, then the final battle would occur. You bring your best 6 Pokemon, or your most ideal 6 Pokemon, into the final battle, and to see who would be the Nuzlocke tournament winner. I know it's very long and complicated, and the reason if I could create it, and why it isn't around, is simply because it is impossible. It is almost impossible to keep track of 16 people doing Nuzlockes. It's almost impossible to have 16 people do one game and not have an advantage. Because maybe one alternate version has statistically better Pokemon. I don't know. Maybe one Pokemon they can get is stronger. Maybe, like, Houndoom might be a little bit better than an Arcanine if the game has a lot more fire types and you wouldn't need to get Arcanine. There's so many other factors in it, and the other thing is you need to have people that are good at Nuzlocke. You don't want to have people that are all competitive battlers and one person that just, you know, shiny hunts. and I feel like it wouldn't work out. But that would be my most ideal and fun thing. Now, I had a few other questions about the channel, such as, how old are you? Where do you live? And just quick fire some questions like that. I'm almost 17. I am in my senior year of high school. I live in New York, United States, obviously. YouTube isn't my full-time job. I don't get paid for it. I do it for fun. I have an actual job, and that's where I get a majority of my money. Will I ever do other games? Yes, I do a lot of other games on the channel. I usually try to do new games once the series ends, and I've decided to end the Mario Strikers Charge series. I know I didn't beat it on extreme mode. I just simply don't think you guys really care too much about the series. I feel like it's a game that's kind of like you can't really watch it too well because it's so intense and so much is going on that you don't know what I'm thinking, and you might see something and you might get annoyed because you see an opening that I'm not taking, and I just kind of feel like it'd also be a lot of on me to record it and do extreme mode again. I would have loved to do it. Maybe I'll do it sometime in the future, but as of now, I'm not going to do extreme mode. I'll save that for the future. I would love to do other games. It's just all a matter of timing, I don't have as much time when the school year is going on to do other games. Like, I try to stick to Pokemon games because I know the episodes can be shorter. Editing takes a lot of time. You might not think it does, but 30-minute recording, and then I gotta edit it if anything happens, which, if it's 30-minute recording, I can do editing probably in 20 minutes, and then it takes about, if it's a 30-minute recording, probably about an hour to render, and if it's something like a Soul Link, it's gonna take like an hour and a half. So it's gonna take a lot of time, and when that's going on, that's it. I cannot do anything else with my computer. So I try to edit before I do my homework, that way I can do something during that time. So it also cuts down on when I can stream. Since I'm streaming from my computer now, there's definitely no chance that I can edit and stream, or stream and render. Another question that I get asked a lot, and I said I'd come back to it later, this is it, is what is my setup? Now, my setup isn't exactly the best of the best. I have a somewhat gaming PC. It is a gaming PC, but it's a very old one. It's one from probably closer to the 2010-ish time, so it's not the best quality, but it's better than like a 19-year-old laptop, for example. So yeah, not the strongest, I have done a few things, like I gave it extra RAM, and it seems to be working fine for everything I needed to. Obviously, it's not as good as like a proper gaming PC or a custom-built PC, but it's pretty well. I have 2 monitors. I've had it for a very long time. I used to do it for when I was doing smaller art projects, so I'd have some reference images. And it was just easier and more convenient to have 2 screens. I have a new mic, as you can tell. It's kind of on a stand, almost as, like, I can move it, like a lot of more other YouTubers do. I just kind of thought that it was more, not necessary, but it was just way easier to have than my other mic, because it always was getting tangled, and it was far away, and it was really quiet, and I was like, I have some extra money, why not? And it was not that expensive, but yeah, I have to do a little bit of editing to make sure you don't hear the background noise. I mean, you're going to be able to hear probably the background noise right now, because I can't really edit that out, but yeah. Another thing is where I record. I sometimes refer to my dog as jumping on and off of something on the couch. I usually say, I don't have a couch in my room. I don't stream in my room. When I started streaming almost a year and a half ago, it was all in my room, because there'd be no noise, almost no phone calls, nothing. But the issue is, I don't live in a more modern house. My house is a bit older, so there's no air conditioning upstairs, like built-in air conditioning that keeps the room cool. You have to have a proper air conditioner or a fan. And that's a problem for 2 reasons. One, if I don't have it on in the summer, not only is it super hot, my phone would overheat. And obviously now I don't use it, but I can assure you that a computer would have overheated in that temperature as well. The other issue is you'd hear it. It's super loud because it's an air conditioner. It's making a lot of noise. So I moved into more of the gaming room, you could say, of the house. It's where I had my Switch and my, well, I didn't have the Switch at the time, but where I had my video games. It's that kind of room in the room in the house where usually you have a TV, you have a Wii and Wii U and whatnot. So yeah, it's not always the most convenient because I can't have this room all to myself because it connects to other parts of the house. There's one entrance. There's, I guess, two entrances and exits, and sometimes it's just more convenient to go through this instead of taking the long way. So a lot of times you'll hear some of my family members walking in or out, or you'll hear conversations because I don't really have the door to close, because a lot of times they'll open it and you'll know from experience that they don't close the door. So yeah. One other question I was getting asked was, will you do another tournament, and if you do, when will you do it? Now, the Forgotten Shining tournament was supposed to be a quick 3-week tournament, and then we'd do a few more, and I've kind of noticed that it's just not panning out the way. There's so many other things, so many other issues, and I've constantly been trying to make it fun for everyone and keep everyone, intact and want to still play, but it seems that, people are losing interest, or they're busy, and I don't know. And it sucks. It really does. I'd love to do another tournament like this. But, it just doesn't seem to be working out. So that is a shame. But, when one door closes, a new one opens. Now, I want to thank you all for watching the Q&A video. I know it's longer. I don't know how much I'm going to cut out of this. But, yeah. I try to answer your questions. I do apologize for not answering the last Q&A I tried to did. I just got lost in time, and yeah. Thank you all for watching and sticking with me throughout all this time and helping me get to 400 subs. It really means a lot to me, just to know that so many people at one point went out of their way to click a button because they liked my channel and they liked me. It does mean a lot. I don't have a lot of friends, and it's nice to know that people like me. I'm not just some person that no one wants to see or spend time with, because that's kind of how it feels sometimes. That's how it felt before YouTube, and I could definitely say it's improved my life. I mean, I was really depressed in sophomore year. I had no friends. I had nothing to do except for just waste my time on YouTube, and now I've have made so many friends. I'm almost always talking with my friends, and it's nice. It's something I never really had. I never had a lot of friends, and something that people are, they're expecting me. They want to see more stuff from me. They're excited when I do things, and yeah, they've even inspired me to do stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna stop chatting and ranting. Thank you all for watching. I will see you all in the future. Bye.